thing right now in the dev world is something called Devin, the first AI software engineer. We all know it's coming. We all know that we're in the midst of a giant AI explosion. Everywhere you go, people are talking about AI, and there's billions and billions of investments pouring into AI. So yesterday, Cognition Labs, I never heard of this company. Apparently, it's in stealth mode out of New York. They announced the first AI software engineer. Now, if you're familiar with ChatGPT or any other AI thing like Bard or Gemini, you know you as a software engineer, you probably have used it to do some of your tasks, to help you do some of your tasks. I know typically I use it to, last I used it, I use it as a like a regex helper thing. It was able to spit out a regex for me for a specific set of requirements. So it was really cool. And I see AI helper, as a helper, something so I don't have to Google or Stack Overflow anymore. But now here comes this thing here where it's a think of it as an IDE for AI engineering, software engineering. So instead of like you prompting them, like this one, like can build something from start to finish with a single prompt. So what it's saying is that Devin is the state-of-the-art software engineering bench coding benchmark. I don't know what this means, but apparently it has successfully passed engineering interviews, and then it has even done like real work from freelancing websites like Upwork. So what is it actually? So apparently it's I don't want to play the video. You can go there. I'll link it in the description below. But Devin is able to build something from start to end and deploy it to a server where you can see it. And then you can prompt it later to tweak the application as to your liking. So it's a very, very smart AI software. Apparently, if you scroll down, it actually outperforms Claude, Llama, GPT-4. So it's able to do a better job. So what I'm guessing here is that it's a better fine-tuned AI language model that's able to hook up to various different APIs and build things for you. So there's a lot of like nice videos about how it's able to do different set of tasks. You can build and deploy apps end to end, so which is really cool. It can help you fix bugs, and apparently, if you paste in like a GitHub issue link, it can just look into it, read the issue, get the context, and then solve the problem for you. So it's really, I would say, a bit of a game changer. But the only thing I've noticed so far is probably the speed. But let's talk about that later. But that's just if you go to this blog post, you can see the video from the founder, Scott Wu. If you see this video, give me access. I would love to test it out and give my opinions. But basically, it's very powerful, apparently, and you can do a lot of jobs with it. So there's this guy, Andrew Keen, on Twitter. He has access to Devin, apparently. I don't know how, but maybe he got an early access. If you want access, you can go to their website and put it in the wait list to see if you can get access. So I bet a lot of people are going it because this is getting pretty popular right now. So what this guy did was that he reached out to get access and he got it. So and then he basically recorded his experience in a Twitter thread. So I'm not gonna go into detail, but what he's saying, what basically what he did was he went into the Devin, and then he was asking it to code something for him, and basically it was able to code from start to finish. So as you can see here, like this thing has a IDE. It's very similar to what you see as a software engineer, right? So you have a browser here, you have a terminal, and then you have the coding editor. And then on the upper left is the prompt. So it's very similar, and Devin is able to visualize all of that for you in front of you. So if you tell us that, hey, build me a game, build me an application where I can upload wallpapers or something, and then right away it would, if you tell it to, let's say, build it in React, it will start the code, start npm project, React projects, and then install, do all of that. And if it encounters an error, like an unforeseen error here, it will actually browse the web for that error and try to fix it itself. So it's very, very smart. And then at the end, you can see its code in real time. And what's cool is on this platform, you can scroll. There's a scroll bar on the bottom. You can scroll back and forth to see exactly what Devin did, like sort of travel back in time to see what it did. And so at the end of this guy's review, basically what he's saying is that it was able to accomplish the task, but not so meaningfully, like not to the ideal expectation. But that's expected from the first version of the software. But the big thing is that it took a really, really long time for something to be built. So he asked it to build a typical application, and then it took like 20 minutes for the npm install or npm setup to be done. So I mean, I don't blame him because there's networking needs for npm install. You need to download lots of packages, and npm setup, and all that stuff. But that's the standard time. So if you're like a real software engineer, you try to do this, you will still take way longer than Devin to do. So I'm optimistic. I'm not worried about the speed, and speed can only get better over time as this software gets better. So what do I think about this whole thing as a software engineer of like over a decade experience? I like to welcome it, but I do think there's an impact on this software. Is that as software like this gets better, it will phase out a lot of jobs, especially gigs from overseas. So a lot of like gig sites, like Upwork, a lot of people from poor countries like India go to those websites to do tasks and make some money. But now with this thing, I can see that a lot of product managers or startup owners will try to study this thing and get better at it, and eventually outsource those jobs to this AI software. And people, in that part of the world will have to adapt, or they lose out on that money. So what I see in the future is that a lot of people will eventually become better AI prompt engineer rather than an AI engineer, or as any sort of software engineer. You'll be better at prompting than actual building things. So what I'm worried about is that a lot of humans, like software engineers, will lose out on their capability to code, and they will more like reviewers than coders. As you similar to how when you're at a job, you try to move up to like a management role, you will code less. You become less technical over time. This is pretty similar, although you still have to review code. With the software like this, you have to review it. You still need to know what you're doing. Like in the code, in order to make this work. So I don't think it will completely replace software engineers, but it will replace a lot of jobs. But in a way that it will also boost productivity for software engineers who knows what to do with this. So think of it as a tool to aid your performance. So that's my thoughts. And Cognition Labs, if you see the video, give me access. I would love to play this and give you a review. Thanks. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.